I'm Catherine Elizabeth from Cat Beth Art. Welcome to my art channel. This is where my creativity flows. Today is episode 12 and we'll be using the same color palette that we did last time. I'll also have two paintings for you, and as the title suggests, very different results. I'll let you know in the debrief after each painting. So let's get you done with the first one. See you soon. And here we begin with our 10 by 10 stretched canvas and pouring on the pillow paint, PPG Multi-Pro. And I begin my layering. As I said earlier, these are the same colors that I've used in my last video. You can check that out if you haven't seen it yet. And then my cell activators. Being very careful about how I lay this on so it mostly flows to the top and doesn't sink down. I'm also using white. Again, I can see how thin the paint is. It's really just moving around a whole lot. Here's my blowout. I'm noticing quite a lot of dark shadowing there where the cell activator is. I'm hoping that I can get rid of it. Nice spin. Hopefully that will spin off. I have this sped up just a little bit. There's a lot of the darkness still there in the corner. Maybe another spin will take care of that. We'll see. Okay, not so bad. Stay tuned for the dried results. So I have the final results of that first painting, and here we go. turn out pretty nice. And if you look really closely, I mean, you have to look pretty closely to see it. It almost looks like these are leaves coming from a branch. There's one there, and there's a leaf there. And here's maybe some water or some sky. Yeah. You know, the fun part of this is trying to come up with a scene that the painting wants you to know. Yeah. So really happy with this. I like the shading of the colors here. I do like the light blue right here mixed in with the white and a little bit of negative space. I like it. Yes, I'm happy with this one. Let's get you down for painting 2 now. Again with our second painting. This time I've put it upon an old painting that I had. It's a 12 by 12 canvas, and again it's an old painting that I wasn't very happy with. I put my pillow paint down and I begin my layering. I'm using the white cell activator first and see if that makes any kind of a difference. And I'm going with the black on top of that. Not quite as much black because I don't want to see too much of the dark shadowing. I think that the thin paint is amplifying the darkness of that cell activator. So yeah, just a little bit. And here I begin with my blowing. Again, you can see how thin that pillow paint is by the rapidity at which the layered paint, the colored paint, just accumulates back to the middle again. It's just so fast. But I really am loving this color combination and the blowout. The shading is just gorgeous. Really happy with the appearance of all of the colors that I laid down and the blending of those colors as well. This is really, really pretty. A lot of white coming up there. I think it's, I might have dug into the pillow paint a little too much with my blower. But I don't mind, as I said before in other videos, I don't mind a bit of negative space. I'm just giving it a little twirl with the end of my skewer to try to break up that a little bit, and then a spin. I'm going to try to tilt some of that dark down. The paint does flow pretty rapidly because of the thinness of the paint. So I'm not really struggling to get that dark off. There's a little corner there in the upper right that I want to try to cover with some paint. At this point, the paint is getting a little thin, and it's not really sliding too much, so I'm going to add a little bit of the paint to that corner edge. Yeah. And then I'll give it a spin to try to blend that in and maybe blow it off. I'm really happy with the composition. That top corner there that I added the paint to is still there. You can still see it, but I don't mind it so much. Give it one more shot at trying to ease that off. But if it can't go off, I'm okay with that. Yeah, it's not really wanting to move a whole lot. I love the cells, I love the composition, I love the shading. I like everything about this, so stay tuned for the dried result. So, lovely painting. I love the wet results. Really happy with the composition, the colors, the white space. I was so anxious to see it dry so I could show it to you. Well, here it is. I think overall, I still like the composition. I love the shading and all of that. However, I'm not sure if it's coming through very clear, but it dried really cracked. There's a huge crack right here. There are some other cracks throughout the painting. I'm very sad about that. If it just wasn't for those cracks, I think it would be fine. If I wanted to cover it with resin, I certainly could do that. I would first paint the cracks so that it has a color, and the resin would fill in all of these gaps. However, I don't think I want to do that with this one. I don't want to. I just want to really move on to something else. Why do I think this happened? All these crackings. Well, I think there are a number of reasons. The first reason, I think, is the fact that I had this paint that was very, very thin, and I also had thicker colors. Even though I tried to thin them out to try to make both the pillow paint and the color paints equal, it just didn't happen. And I think that was part of it. Another thing is that when I painted on top of this used canvas, I believe that the reason why the cracking happened is because the drying of the mixture of densities of paint was uneven and unequal, and there was no airflow to be gotten on the underside to let it dry from both sides because of the thick painting that I painted over. I think perhaps if I had used a thicker base coat, a thicker pillow paint, that I wouldn't have had this problem. And in fact, I've done it many times before where I've painted over an old painting and it's come out perfectly fine. So I really think it's a combination of the paint that was on here originally, perhaps that was thicker than usual, causing a really sort of impervious base, and the thin pillow paint and the heavier color paint. So I think that that's what happened. Yeah, unfortunately it happened on this beautiful painting, but I've learned my lesson and I will not do that again. So for more of my shenanigans, be sure to stay tuned to more of my videos. Please subscribe if you like this. Also, if you'd like to see more of my art, visit my website at catbethartflowingcreativity.com. The link is down below. Until next time, bye.